Hello, my name is David Hall. I'm a visiting professor at the University of Greenwich in London, UK, and I'm going to talk to you about the experience of England water privatisation since the Thatcher government in the 1980s. That experience has been very bad, and I want to advise you that privatisation of Sabesp would be a big mistake, and you should avoid it because of the experience in England and elsewhere. What happened here was privatisation for the usual reasons given, that it's supposed to be more efficient, it's supposed to deliver more investment, that problems with the system such as leaks or sewage overflows will be dealt with better by private companies. And to let you know that none of these things is true, quite the opposite is true. And we have detailed figures from the experience of England to show that. Let's just look at the question of efficiency to start with. When studies were done 10 years after privatisation to see if the companies were more efficient, technically efficient, financially efficient than the old public sector companies, the answer was no. There had been no efficiency improvements. One reason for that is that the new owners of the water companies in England didn't know anything about water. They were simply financial institutions who had bought the companies to buy the rights for the investment. So the companies gained no new expertise. We didn't get any greater competence, but we did get financial institutions determined to extract as much. Surely, some people say, that's a big advantage because these very wealthy and powerful institutions have a lot of money and can invest it in things that we really need, like new pipes, new sewage treatment plants to avoid pollution, and so on. But the experience in England and elsewhere is that this doesn't happen. In fact, quite the opposite's happened. In 35 years, the companies have invested less than nothing. They bought the companies by buying shares in the first place, and since then they've even taken out some of that money. So in investment terms, the shareholders have invested less than nothing. But what they have done is take out huge amounts of dividends. In the last 35 years, they've taken out dividends worth nearly £80 billion. In dollar terms, that's well over $100 billion. So $2.5–3 billion per year being taken out of the system, not put into the system. What about the performance? The performance has become worse and worse. In terms of sewage pollution, there is more sewage in our rivers today and on our beaches than there ever has been. People are regularly complaining about it. Systematic studies and reports show the extent of sewage, and the companies simply ignore this. Why is it happening? Because they save money by not investing in increasing the capacity of the sewage treatment plants, which would be the simple and key solution here. Surely you'd expect that regulators would be dealing with this to make sure the companies were doing what they were supposed to, but no, this hasn't happened. Even in a country like the UK, where you would expect regulators to be powerful, they impose only the weakest fines, and the companies got into the habit of simply lying to the regulators about their leakage and their sewage spills. One reason why they've got away with this is that the regulators can look forward to having very good jobs with the water companies as long as they are soft when they work for the regulators. The former chief executive of Ofwat, the main regulator, is now senior director of the biggest water company, Thames Water. The companies have been allowed to double prices in real terms over those 35 years, not to pay for higher costs, but to pay for those higher dividends. Not surprisingly, privatisation is very, very unpopular. 70% of people want water back in the public sector. Broadly, the same picture is true globally. 90% of water globally is run in the public sector, including, for example, the USA, where 89% is public. And there's a strong global trend away from privatisation, not towards privatisation, both in the global north and the global south. Nearly 400 cases of remunicipalisation, as we call it, of water services has happened, including half of the French cities which privatised in the 1980s. So there are good reasons for learning from the experience of England and good reasons why other countries elsewhere are remunicipalising, not privatising. So please learn from our experience. Sabesp doesn't need privatisation. It needs strong democratic planning for public service. Thank you.